Hey there, God bless. My name is Collin Finley. I'm a friend of Tom Morris's, and this is a little bit of a testimony or kind of just a reflection of my life. If any of you guys have read the letter that was sent out regarding my life, I just wanted to share a little bit of it from my perspective and just give maybe some extra details and just a live report. Also, I'd like to give a great thank you to Grieving Teens and to Tom Morris and to the ministry that he has there. So anyway, my name is Collin Finley. I was born in San Bernardino, and as stated in my testimony before, I grew up in a single family home. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and when I was about 9 years old, my mom met a man who was a pretty bad guy, had a bad history of stuff, and got married to him. And within a couple years, the relationship became very sour and very abusive, and it was directed primarily towards me, not as much my mom. It was kind of a secret thing going on for a couple years. By the time I was about 13 years old, my mom fled. Well, my mom and we fled from him and went into hiding pretty much. We went to a program called Shelter from the Storm. It's a program in Cathedral City, and they took us into hiding and tried to restore and deal with us. An underlying thing that was going on at the time that I don't really share about too often was kind of this just depression, and it started before I met this guy, but it was definitely amplified when I met him. And these thoughts of suicide and nightmares and anger and unexplainable behavior type of thing was kind of a result of this underlying emptiness that I felt in my heart. When I was about 13 years old, about a year or two after being out in Palm Desert and trying to live a new life and be restored and being on medication from the doctors and all this kind of stuff and counseling, I was invited to a church, and I attended, and within a couple weeks I was going to a youth camp. August 15th, 2007 was the day that my life was radically changed, and I was made like a new creature, a new creation, and all these different things that I was dealing with, this anger, this depression, this bitterness, like just evaporated away, and I had felt a peace and a love that I had never experienced before in my life, and it definitely changed me from that point forward. But yeah, August 15th, 2007, that was the day that I accepted Christ into my heart and became a born-again believer. I became spirit-filled, and my life was radically changed. So I go back, and I'm in 7th grade at the time. I'm at Palm Desert Middle School, and I had a reputation as a bad kid. I had a reputation as a real disrespectful student, a fighter, just altogether a troublemaker type of kid, terrible student. And I remember going in, and I talked to one of my teachers even to this day. I go back and I visit all the time, and I share my story, and I do some other things for the school. But my teacher said, yeah, you had a bad rap behind you. Like, everyone thought, hey, this kid is bad news. So when I found out you were coming to my class, I was a little scared. But I had gotten saved over the summer, so I go back into the school, and I'm a new person. And she's like, wait, this kid is great. Like, what do you mean? Why do you have all these things to say about him? He's such a nice kid. He does nice things, and he's a Christian, and he's respectful. And it was all new, though. It was a result of the change. I had fought kids a couple of weeks before I got saved, and before school ended, I got in these big old fight. And I remember going back to school and seeing the kid again. But this time I came up to him and I apologized. I told him, hey, I'm saved, man. I'm sorry for what I did. Like, forgive me. I was a different person. I'm new now. I went in and I was becoming the Christian club president, sharing with Christ all throughout the campus with all types of people, with the teachers, the faculty, and with the students. And it became a real life thing. It was really an awesome experience. At that time, I had met my girlfriend, or current girlfriend, and she wasn't a girlfriend at the time. She ends up getting saved like a year after me at the same church, the same camp. And we've been dating not ever since. We've been dating since high school, since I've been 18 years old, but that's a different story. Anyhow, I go into high school, and somewhere between middle school and high school, I became interested in doing hip-hop music and poetry. So I became a spoken word artist and a hip-hop artist, and obviously a gospel-centered and for the Lord. And I was given opportunities to perform at my high school, at the middle school, given opportunities to perform in LA and San Diego, and I would go all over the place, and I would share kind of testimony that God has put in my life and the different things that were going on. In high school, I was never, how God changes you sometimes, and there's still some things that you got to work on. For me, it was being disciplined and being a student. I was not the best student. I was always interested in ministry, and I was always out like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, Bible studies at night, and sometimes I would conflict with homework, and I would kind of just do a sloppy job on it, and I kind of didn't take it too seriously. I did whatever I could to get like a B, but I could have got an A very easily if I had just spent more time on it. I got through school, and it was easy for the most part in high school. Went off to college, and went to Bible college right after high school. I went to Calvary Chapel Bible College. My girlfriend and I relocated to Costa Mesa, obviously not living together, but she went to Vanguard University, and I went to Calvary Chapel Bible College. Spent 2 years there, got a degree, worked. I don't even really know how I survived and got through it. When I think about it now, it's crazy. I had nothing. Like, I moved out with nothing. I worked since I was about 15 years old to help my mom and to support the family and buy groceries and stuff like that, and I was able to save up some money to get a salvage car, and I drove that car out to Orange County, and I had a friend that lived out there, and I stayed on his couch for a couple of weeks and found a way to survive and be alive, found a new job, got hired at JCPenney. I worked those terrible holiday hours till like 3 in the morning, and then I'd get up and go to class at 9, and that's how I lived for a couple months. I got hired on full-time after with JCPenney, and then I just kept going through school. My last semester of Bible college, I got brought on to staff at my church. It's called Westminster Christian Assembly. Got about 100 people there, and was able to start a youth group. And that's kind of been flourishing and growing up until this day. It's been about 3 years since I've been there, and it's been a blessing. God has really opened up an awesome opportunity, and the church says, hey, we believe in your ministry, we believe in your calling, and that's what we want you to have you do. And I always knew that I'd be in ministry after about a year or two after I got saved. I knew this is what my life would be like. But of course, you have the concerns of like, how do you pay your bills? How do you get by? God's always provided in some supernatural way. He's always given me just enough to get there. So I decided, after working in summer of a part-time job or a full-time job on the side at a school, it was a Christian school in Brea. After working with like 6th graders, 5th graders, and I was running like a summer camp type of thing, God had put another calling on my life. Something that was new was to become a teacher. And I never had this feeling before, and I never would think I'd be a teacher. Like, believe me, that's never, ever what I expected. But I said, all right, Lord, you want me to do that? I'm on it. So I've been at community college for the last 2 years, taking classes nonstop, accelerating, pushing hard. For the first time, I made the dean's list in college for having like a 3.6 and above GPA. I think I currently have a 3.6 GPA. Just took summer classes, 4 classes, and I aced them. Got A's across the board, 4.0. I'm really working hard to boost it up to as high as I can, like a 3.8 before I go to Cal State Fullerton. I decided that I'll double major in mathematics and then music on the side, and I'll get credentialed in both to be able to teach both mathematics and music at a high school or at a middle school, whatever God kind of opens up the opportunity to. And it's been an awesome opportunity. I've realized kind of a new way of discipline. I had a brain surgery when I was like 16 years old, and they removed a tumor that was humongous in one side of my head, and it really kind of messed up my learning for a second, but God's restored like so much of my memory and my studying skills and things like that, and I've really gotten pretty sharp. So praise God over it. I've been able to get great grades, and I realized that there's opportunity and there's grants and there's money available for somebody that works hard, somebody that comes from a situation like me, single parent home, mom makes, we're considered low income type of family setup. And so my goal has been to work hard, to honor the Lord, and to get all that done. So currently, youth pastor, still serving at the church, no intention of going anywhere. God's been blessing, it's been growing, kids are getting saved. Praise God, it's an awesome thing. Still doing music, having given the opportunity to do some really awesome things and share at Biola and share at Vanguard and share at big conferences and things like that, youth groups, churches, all over the place. The message of the gospel through a new form to a new audience that might not have received it in the traditional manner, but through the poetry, through the arts, they are receptive to it. I'm just working hard, trying to get by. Worked at the Boys and Girls Club up until a couple weeks ago. But God has always found a way to provide and be faithful and to take care of me. So I want to say thank you to Tom Morris, because he played a huge role in my life, especially in those crucial years from like 13 to 17. You're really becoming who you are, and you're trying to question, who am I as a man? What am I going to do in life? What has God called me to do? And Tom Morris has been a crucial part in that. We used to be a part of the grieving teens thing that they had on campus. And me and a buddy of mine would come in, we share our testimonies about being abused as kids and the depression and all the stuff that came alongside with it. And we're given opportunities to really to minister to our fellow like classmates and stuff, and to be like, yeah, man, I know, like, I've had losses, I've had, you know, trauma go on, but this is what saved us. This is what helped us. Like, this is what made us new creatures. This is how, you know, we survive and flourish, because God has given us, you know, His Son, and given us new life, and given us forgiveness. I can forgive others now. I can forgive my stepfather now. I can forgive my mother for putting me in this situation, so on and so forth. And it's really been awesome. So I'm looking forward to partnering with Tom Morris in the ministry in the future. I'm grateful for everybody that hears this, and I hope it encourages you guys in the confidence and the trust that God is able and willing to do exceedingly abundantly and above all that we could ever ask for. He's good. Praise God.